we live in a culture where, you know, being in your late 20s is thought of as the peak of your experience. But there's a whole gamut of women who are just coming into being. You know, many of us feel that 40 or 50 is the new 20.
With me now is designer Gabrielle Carlson. I'm so honored to have her with me to talk to me about art, design, and especially her fashion. And a little bit of color, right? Because I know that your work is just magnificent with color. Your outfits are just full of beautiful colors, flowing colors, right?
I'm laughing because we're talking about color, and as you and I just said, we're both wearing New York black.
New York black, but that's,
But
know,
yes.
it's cultural. But Gabrielle, tell me about the work that you do. Tell me about your fashions. They're gorgeous.
Well, I dress women, and I dress women who don't spend a lot of time thinking of themselves as very beautiful, and they sort of consider that they've had their first bloom and now here they are and all of that's over. So when they come by, they often don't look at themselves straight in the mirror. And for me, what's really delightful is when you meet somebody and you start putting different things on them, different shapes, different fabrics, different colors. And then they become involved as well, and the two of you are playing, you're engaging, and all of a sudden you've arrived at something where she looks spectacular. And she looks at herself in the mirror, and she's excited, because she's like, oh my God,
that's me.
I'm gorgeous. What else you got? And so it sort of goes from there.
So it's a very psychological.
Well, I think people are all one thing. We live in a culture where, you know, being in your late 20s is thought of as the peak of your experience. But there's a whole gamut of women who are just coming into being. You know, many of us feel that 40 or 50 is the new 20. Mm-hmm. And here are these people, a mass of people who are alive and have been places and have experienced many things and are whole people, by no means done with living. For
Right.
many of them, they're just starting out and coming into their own. And so it's wonderful to be in a position where you can be part of someone's finding themselves attractive and enjoying how they look, and more than anything, not feeling like it's over. Far from it.
And getting comfortable with themselves.
Well,
not getting
more than
comfortable.
that, just enjoying themselves.
Right.
And what's particularly fun is dressing women who are mothers of the bride or groom. And when you first meet them, they are ready to be in the background, even though they're going to be hosting the event. It's very much their party.
Right.
And we start playing and we start dressing. And by the time they're done, they have a very different sense of the wedding they're about to hold. They're excited. They can't wait for it to happen. And they feel as much a part of the front row or the main action as anyone else coming. And that's a very pleasant shift to participate and bring it about. I like dressing women very, very much. I think that even though we're in the 21st century, women are still, very many women are less certain of themselves and are a little more hidebound than many of the men they live with or meet or work with or what have you. They seem to doubt themselves a great deal, and that hasn't changed generationally. So if you can work with people such that in dressing them, which is just something I enjoy doing, I mean, I create clothes for women. We do dress some men, but I predominantly dress women. And to dress someone that they just enjoy being in their skin
They just
and love
glow,
getting dressed is...
I can tell that they glow
It's
from
fun.
looking at your face, because the way that you're describing, the way that they feel when they put on your clothes is just coming out in your face, the expression on your face.
Well, it's fun to bring women beyond their sense of all the things they're not. You know, when that drops away, you really start meeting who there is to dress to start with. And the more you're present for that person, the more that person kind of emerges, if you will. And then you're part of this creation. It's not always as lyrical as it sounds. Sometimes it's a lot of pulling teeth. Sometimes people have an idea of what they look well in. I'm not an image consultant.
Right.
But what I am is someone who can sense where someone's comfortable and where sometimes you can take them just a little bit further and put them in something that they might not have thought of, but then are really excited to be looking at themselves in.
What inspired you to become a fashion designer?
Well, I grew up in South Africa. My parents were very political. I grew up in the apartheid era, and I met a lot of women who were very unhappy. And I wanted very much for them to have a better time being. And all I could think of as a little girl was dressing them. So there were always bits of fabric around the house. Why, I don't know, but there was. And I would enjoy putting it around people and have them pretend with me that they were going here or there. And it was something other than how they were living moment by moment, which was horribly. And it was a way to be elsewhere. And it was a way to just go beyond the perimeters of your everyday moment to moment, which was unhappy, and be transported, if you will, by just imagining yourself as something other in what you wear and how you were dressing. And then, I don't know, it sort of grew from there. I've been dressing women for as long as I can remember, but I still feel I'm very much at the beginning of it, because the more present you are for the people you meet and both take them and are taken by them to what's going to make the difference in terms of dressing them such that they bloom, and that it's stronger than all one's uncertainty and one's doubts. When we first came here, I was very awkward. I turned 13 here, and it was coming to a place that was so radically different where I was from. It was like being let out of a garden with high walls and a ceiling and no windows. I would go sit in Washington Square Park and be amazed at just how expressive people were, how free to speak the way they did, the different clothes they wore. I couldn't get enough of it. I'd never seen anything like it. Yet the longer I was here, the more I saw that was not everybody and not many women, and that many women were bound in a very different way. And so it just became something I continued wanting to do and did. And I began designing. I dressed women long before I designed, as far as I can remember. And coming to be a designer in New York City is, of course, a whole nother story, but I'd like very much to talk about dressing women, because that's the inspiration for me. To have people, through dressing who they see themselves and how they're perceived, come to really love who they are and be excited by who they are and find great joy in themselves.
Thank you so much. That was so amazing, just talking to you and learning more about your work and what inspired you. And it's something I'll never forget. It was perfect. Thank you so much.
Well, my pleasure.